There are a lot of people who admitted to a change in their religious affiliation in this new survey that's out from Pew. This is nothing new in terms of the trend, but for the first time ever, the fastest growing U.S. religious affiliation in the country is the box that says none. More people are not affiliated with a religion than are, according to this survey.
And this was interesting. Ron and I were going back and forth. We both interpreted this slightly differently. It sounded like we were both right on this. So it was, I thought, okay, so does that mean people aren't, they're being perhaps atheist? But it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means this box is atheist, agnostic, or perhaps spiritual, and I use that term very, loosely and generally, in their own way, but just not affiliated with the church, like not tithing to a certain church, not picking a certain church that they go to on holidays or every Sunday, or having a Bible study. And this, to me, of course, we know that this increased over the pandemic. This, to me, is I get it, because I think there can be issues with organized religion. But I also have to say a big part of my community and fellowship and friendships have come from meeting people inside the church. So
that's true. And
I hate for people to miss out on that.
And many of the churches and the church that I go to as well does a lot of outreach in the community to make the community in which they reside better and to draw the community in, not to convert them to any particular religion, but that's what's different about where I go. We call it a sort of a church for religious refugees. It's almost like the people who are checking the box none, who still believe in a higher power or are spiritual, may just need to find a different church that embraces everyone. What brings people together at Lift, where I go, is that everybody feels like they don't belong in a particular church. They just belong there together. That's the commonality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, this was crazy. I mean, the population of Protestant adults declined to 40% this year. So that's down 4 points in the last 5 years. A lot of that did happen during the pandemic when people were like, oh, well, I'm not going to the building anyway, and I'm not sure if I totally loved that church to begin with. So here I am, on my own. I just feel so fulfilled by the friendships and the people that I've met, not to mention obviously Bible study, and if that's part of your life.
Well, I'm looking at some of the feedback already, and people are saying that, and I'm also wondering, and they don't explain this, but generally speaking, people who are religiously not affiliated to anything, religiously unaffiliated, come from urban and coastal communities. I almost get the urban aspect. I don't know why coastal communities would have more religiously unaffiliated people than other parts of the country, although they say this number is starting to be indicative of other places as well. And that is our Morning After Express question of the day. We're asking you, do you find yourself sort of evolving with your religion and spirituality? Have you become unaffiliated with a church, but you're still spiritual? Or have you simply abandoned the belief in a higher power? Some people are atheist or agnostic. So let us know. We'll share your comments here coming up at the end of the show.